idea of a nation state. So it doesn't matter if he streams or not. There are so many believers who align with the same values. As long as we stay aligned with what's right, we can stay in the light the whole time. I know it's kind of hard for others to see that, but as long as we continue to stay on our path, I believe that we can bring glory to Pulse Chain, which will enrich us all.
Okay.
Showing people true value, true wealth, the search for knowledge. Those are the things that make Pulse Chain pure. And there are others that depend on RH streaming. Well, RH doesn't care if you sell or not. He doesn't care if you make a project or not. He's going to do what he does regardless. It's up to us to back him up with the right words and the right sentiment.
Okay. Well, I don't think he needs to stream, but I do think he is going to stream. So I'll go against all of you, and I would do a friendly wager. I think he's going to stream. There's been a couple things. Number one, I missed out on HEX. I was not a Richard Hart evangelist. I was busy with the launch of BSC, so I kind of missed HEX. KOL said he's a scammer. I skipped it over, whatever. But then after listening to him a little bit, I said, okay, I'm going to be a day one sacrificer to Pulse Chain and Pulse HEX. That's how I kind of got here. And then, left blue chips to go into assets like PTGC and some others that did well. And, that's how I got the Pulse Chain bags that I have. But I think he's going to stream. He also even talked shit on Satoshi Nakamoto for not being around for Bitcoin in a previous stream. You can find that clip. I'll maybe get that on Twitter. Also, I think he wants to be the face of Pulse Chain, just like we see Charles Hoskinson is the face of Cardano, IOHK, and ADA. Just like we saw that CZ was very active in the face of BNB, Binance, BSC until he went to jail. And now, even though he's not the CEO of Binance, now he's got the gag off and he is talking about crypto again and still comments on Binance stuff, and he's still the face. You got Vitalik, who is the Ethereum's face, who Richard Hart has openly kind of laughed at and talked shit on, calling him a soy boy, to be short on words. And that's why I believe that he will live stream. Now, I do agree you don't need the live stream, but I do believe that it helps the chain a lot if you have that face, if he comes back, and if people start to put together the pieces like I did, that, hey, he's not a scammer. He did beat the SEC. He did beat the Interpol. He's still here. The funds aren't moving, and everything that is being built, Pump Tires was built and launched probably by RH. Well, what does it do? All the economic power goes to PLS and PLSX. Everything he is doing is doing it benevolently, and I think he wants to go out there and maybe be the more humble Richard Hart, hopefully, the intelligent Richard Hart, and onboard this next wave. I just think that his ego and wanting to make millionaires and what he said about Satoshi and Charles Hoskinson has gone at him. So I think, he has that ego and it's like, okay, you want to be the face of that shitcoin Cardano. I'll be the face of Pulse Chain, and let's see who wins after 1 year. Let's see who wins after 5 years. And that's why I believe he's going to come back. I think it's in his personality that if he beats and when he beats all these cases, he will want to come back. But somebody did mention about price. That could delay him because I think it is a lot easier for him to stream if he can come on and say, well, everybody who bought Sacrifice is in the green. Then that obviously makes the comment section better. But that's why I think he's going to stream. And I would almost say 100%. That's my gut feeling. He will be streaming again this cycle.
Okay, fair enough. I think where I was before was that I didn't think he needed to, and I thought that the risk was too high for him to. But the more I think about it, I think that the position that he has been elevated to puts him in a position where, look, any of us can be like, oh, I don't care what people say about me. But if 50,000 people start talking shit about you, eventually you're going to want to come and start firing back. And I think he's going to come back and stream back, just, come and start streaming again. Probably, like you said, once it's above SAC, to just, sort of thumb his nose at everybody and go, look, eat it. I fucking told you.
Mo, have you ever seen his old streams?
Yes.
Like back in the day, like before HEX, all that stuff.
Like his rap battle.
He would just go for like 4 hours, okay, nonstop, not pee, not even drink water. Like he just click on that super clicky keyboard, right? That chunky one. And then he would read through the comment section, and if you said something kind of like fuddish, he would like literally call you out and call you an idiot. So it was the funniest thing. So
I want that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not worried about him being able to handle like bad comments or whatever, but I do think it's a lot easier to be like, hey guys, how's everyone doing? And be like super not caring if the price, is like commiserate with, your energy that you're bringing. You can't, it's really hard to bring a whole ton of energy and the price is way down. You know what I mean?
A couple people did cite security, but the thing is, like, what to me, you guys can answer. What's the security difference now? So, say he beats SEC and Interpol, so that's gone. But what's the security risk now versus when he was a rumored billionaire buying the biggest diamond in the world and walking publicly with one security guard going into Louis Vuitton? Like, what's the difference between security then and security now? I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. I think you already were at maximum security risk even last cycle, if that's what you're worried about.
Maybe I would say to that, I mean, hell, in the last year, I've seen a lot more social media guys get, get doxxed and have psychos show up at their door. So maybe that is becoming a little bit more prevalent. But to that point, maybe, you probably got a good point there. I mean, if you're already buying diamonds, you got security guards, you're, rolling with million dollar fucking cars. Yeah, you're already at that level of security risk. So maybe that's a good point. What do you guys think? Overblown, the security risk?
No, I mean we should all be secure. We should all have a sense of security. We're in a very speculative market, so we should always be prepared. And that's it. But
I mean, do you think though that for him to stream now, do you think there would be any more of a security risk than back when he was streaming, when he had buying a fucking diamond and rolling with Louis Vuitton and everything and
if he streams again, I don't think it's going to be in that same room with the chair and everything else. I think it's going to be behind a black screen and you're just going to see his face. You know what I mean? I think he's going to stick to that just to add more of a sense of security to his streams.
He's going to do John McAfee streams with like the fucking soundproof room behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his whole allure was like the throne, the green candles in the background. That was like part of who he is. So it would almost be like, would the super OGs, would they like that? Or would the new people be like, oh, is this Richard Hart? Who's this guy? You know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like if you're going to stream, you might as well stream.
I think
you might as well just go back to your roots and be who you are instead of, stream, but kind of have like, weird stuff going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that the definition of wealth is different now than the last cycle. And so he did a lot of outrage marketing in the last cycle to appeal to a certain crowd. Now there's a lot. I don't think it's going to be as flashy this time around. It's really going to be like a transfer of wealth through knowledge, not through Louis Vuitton or Gucci.
I hope so. We'll see.
All right. So Nick brought up earlier the hotel cuck chair in the room, Ethereum. Does Ethereum? I'm sorry, Nick. I told you we're fucking ridiculous. This is a theme I have going.
It's all right. Tommy says it.
Johnny called it the hotel cuck chair, and ever since then, I was like, "That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard." That's exactly what Ethereum is right now. Does Ethereum have its run? And what do you think has been going on? Is it normal? I talked to Brandon Davis, a couple weeks ago, and he kind of thinks Ethereum is doing exactly what it should be doing. I know a lot of people think it's just being manipulated, out the fucking ass. What do you guys think? Does Ethereum beat the third cycle curse? Do we finally run this year? Or are we all sitting in that hotel chair at the end of the year being like, son of a bitch? Nick, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So obviously Ethereum is underperformed. I think Ethereum is lagging more than it should be currently. But that's due to a couple of reasons. Every time there was a relief rally, Ethereum Foundation was openly dumping their tokens. You had Soy Boy Vitalik Buterin. You had the Asian chick who is all about thinks the world is unicorns and cupcakes, and we're not, NPCing. No, look, the world, even in crypto finance, we're all here to win together, but it's still player versus player and it's player versus environment. Ethereum's still competing against other networks, and it's losing market share to BSC because it's EVM compatible. It's losing market share to Solana because it is a new technology, a new chain, and it has VCs that are backing that. Now it's losing competitors to Sui, and hopefully it loses competitors to Pulse Chain, but hopefully we get that run because then we can fuel Pulse Chain with the Ethereum run. But I do think Ethereum will run, and that is because of institutional adoption. Right now, it's still the Ethereum spot ETF is the only other option. On June 1st, the SEC votes whether or not the ETF offerings will be able to pass on, stake those Ethereum, pass on the dividends as a yield to those investors, which is going to be an easy selling point for institutional players like BlackRock, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, etc. I think that will get passed. Also, we have seen with the Pectra update that we went from 32 ETH for validators to 2,048 ETH for validators. What does that do? Well, for institutional purposes, that allows much fewer validators for more money, which decreases maintenance cost, decreases maintenance time, and is much better and more appealing for these institutions to onboard validation. So I think that's going to be the next big push. And that's why I've been saying the Ethereum strategic reserve narrative is the next big option. With Coinbase on par, a new company just announced yesterday that it's getting on board with the Ethereum strategic reserve. I really think that is going to be the next narrative. Bitcoin is the digital gold. Ethereum is like the next Microsoft or the next Nvidia. Whatever narrative they want to spin. And if they say, hey, you can get into this risk on asset that's outperforming the stock market, and we can actually pay you the same yield on this Ethereum ETF as we pay you on a money market bond or on, cash or 10-year treasury or any of that, that's going to be amazing. And BlackRock's going to push it hard because say Ethereum pays 5% yield, they're going to keep 2% off the top for fees. And then the client's going to get 3%, and BlackRock likes to make their money. And that's what I think is going to be the next wave, why Ethereum gets there. Now I'm more convinced than ever, because now everybody's talking about, is Ethereum even going to go to an all-time high this cycle? Is the cycle over? Are we even going to hit 4,000? I think Ethereum gets above $10,000, probably $12,000 this cycle. And, I think that will help pump all of our altcoins and get speculation on for Pulse Chain and other assets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, Ethereum is moving. It's at 27 right now, 2,700. Yeah. So
this is the critical breakout level of a downtrend line too. So if you can break out above a little over 2,700, because we had the triple top there, you hold that level. The measured move puts you, guess where? 41 to 4,200, which would be new highs for the cycle. And then what happens after new highs for cycle for these type of tokens? That's where you get that momentum, and it could all line up with the June 1st vote yes by the SEC for the passing on of dividend yield to spot ETF holders. Institutions are going to play a critical role, whether we like it or not. We're seeing that with Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. I think that's going to funnel down to ETH. I just hope it hurries up before we start to see Solana, ETFs, and all this other stuff going on, because then that money gets spread out, and we don't want that just yet.
It's presenting an opportunity because Ethereum has actually been outperforming Bitcoin over the past couple of weeks, or past couple of days. I'm sorry, not weeks, but it has been the ETH BTC ratio is definitely moving up.
Just be careful. If it hears you talking good things about it, it's gonna fucking come back.
That's fine. Give me the volatility.
Foundation's about to sell more tokens and fall below the Pulse Chain wallet on that Ethereum reserve.
Ted, what do you think? Ty, take your time.
Take time.
Oh, there he is.
You're muted.
Sorry, gentlemen. I was taking a drink of Gatorade. So
Gatorade.
So to Blockhead's point, Ethereum is at 27, and it is actually moving up, and it has been doing very well past few days. That actually kind of coincides with what Chris was saying earlier in his stream with Brandon, is that it's starting to show some momentum. I could see it coming up. I'd like to see it get up to 4,000 again. That'd be great. To reach the 10 to 12 range, that'd be spectacular. I mean, time-wise, I'm hoping by, June July or August, we get into that range. I think that's realistic. But then again, I'm just trying to be optimistic as well.
Okay, fair enough. Johnny, how was your late orange?
My duck l'orange with truffled polenta. Bro, I got skills, bro. I got skills. Dude.
All right, what do you think about Ethereum, sir? Does it break the third cycle curse? Does it stay cucked for the cycle?
Define cucked for the cycle.
Oh,
Third cycle.
That. Okay.
Define it.
No new all-time high. I think would be cucked.
Okay. I mean, I think
it'll do an all-time high, but the all-time high is not going to be what everyone wants it to be. I think. I think it's. What's that?
Like 4,300.
What's the all-time high? 4,800.
Oh, was it? I thought the all-time high was a little bit lower than 4,300.
Pretty sure. I don't know. Chris, was the all-time high for ETH 4,800? I'm pretty sure it was something like that. But whatever. I think.
All right. Add $200 to that. Is that what you think the all-time high is going to be?
I'm not going to be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if ETH gets to like 6,600, 6,500, and then for like a while, and then we maybe get a second run into next year. I definitely can see that happening.
Okay.
I don't necessarily. The way that it's been going now, something absolutely ridiculous has to happen for it to just go from 2,700 to like 12,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like something pretty intense has to happen. Now, I've seen it before where it just goes. But again, that was a different narrative. Each cycle is a different narrative, right? So
yeah,
we're in its third cycle. And if you look in pretty much everything, the only thing that has done well is really Binance. Binance is like Sami says it all the time. If you look at Binance's chart, that's the chart that everyone wishes they had. It was the strongest in the bear. And I mean, you know, will ETH be able to handle that? I don't know. I think there's too much shit going on. There's way too much PvP now. It's definitely a new narrative. It's a meme coin super cycle, in my opinion. You know, meme coins, that's all the rage, right? You don't have the buy and hold like you used to have the past two cycles. Now you have the buy and jeet at like a 20% green candle. I mean, look at everything that goes up 20%, right? It's like, damn, no matter what chain you're on, doesn't matter. It's like, this thing's up 20%. Okay, let's come talk to me tomorrow. Come talk to me in 2 days. And then you go back in 2 days and some bitches drop 46%. So I don't know. It's going to take a lot. It takes a lot of economic energy for ETH to go to start moving. Then you got all the people doing leveraged plays. So if there's a whole ton of leveraged shorts, we might be able to see a nice little scoos, and just see you later. But I don't know, man. I don't necessarily see ETH doing anything crazy this in the next couple months. I see it going, but not like super send. I think it goes, comes super down, goes flat. Everyone thinks that it's fucking done. And then maybe October, November, December, somewhere around there, like something happens and just it goes up. That's how I feel about it, and that's how I'm playing it. I mean, I'm playing for everything, but that's how I feel like it's gonna happen. What's gonna happen?
You brought up a good point.
Hang on.
You said Binance is the only.
This is a setup for a send.
That's my guy, dude.
I'm sorry.
This is a setup for a send.
Oof.
Love it.
Ooh, that was good.
Primate.
Fucking
Banana.
The blockchain is speaking to you.
Oh, I love that guy. I hope he never hears me and think I'm making fun of him. It's good. It's inspiring.
Bro, his internet's always out of his house.
Yeah. He's like, my lights just went out. My internet's not coming on.
So streaming this from my phone on 3G.
Yeah, before we go to before we go to Ted, that's why I equate Pulse Chain to BSC. The reason that BNB has done so well is it is tied to the Binance and has the buy and burn based on revenue from that exchange that is constantly buying and burning that token. That's why it's done so well, not just relying on the layer one. And I think Pulse Chain's in a similar situation since it has all the blue chips where everything is, PulseX, the DEX there is the buy and burn. You got PLS is being liquidity locked with everything but tied to pump tires. All this economic power is being recycled back into the layer one and back into the blue chips, just like we see with BNB. And that's why I get the same vibes. And that's why I think it can be a big winner, multi-cycle winner. It's not just relying on the layer one itself. It has all this other revenue that is pumping its tokens.
Hard. Ted, does ETH run?
Does ETH run?
Do we have it this cycle? Do you think?
I do.
What's a run though? What's a run?
Like,
come on.
Run. I mean, realistically, it would be nice to get to the all-time high, break that. I see a run coming, but I just, like I said, I guess the best way for me to put it would be, I'd like to see something by July to where we're close to, if not at an all-time high.
Okay.
Hey,
Hey,
you put me.
how's it going,
I'm
buddy?
like the silly comic relief guy that likes crypto, and you put me up here to comment on these really serious things. But yeah, I would say
Do you want to
don't
sing?
count,
You can
don't
start
count
moon
out
song.
the effect of a slow dripping of mass euphoria over a long period of time, and watch how that heals the trauma of the past few years, right? And you start to see this shift from that Jeet mindset into the hodlers overtaking. We were talking about that before, Mo. But I like your take on it that you were talking about, Mo, where it's like we're going to see this up and then pull back, up again, pull back, like that, kind of these big chunks of like. But that I think that all lends to the getting that kind of like collective, just mass euphoric state, right? I think that'll be good. And we're so early. We're just getting started.
Chris.
So the question is, will ETH run this cycle? Sorry, I can't remember. We just went through a bunch of things.
he's aping into coins.
Yeah, don't tell me we're going over too much. You're sitting there on 5 different screens, fucking.
He's
aping
buying more
right
Yi.
now.
Yeah, when his face is over like this and you see him like that, it's like, what are you doing? I want to know what you're clicking on.
Hey man,
like,
I
oh,
just
this
love E,
conversation's
man.
so
I just
much.
love dinosaur coins and I love Land Before Time. I don't watch TV, but I see Land Before Time. So
Yee!
Land Before Time was this shit.
yeah,
That was the shit.
that's why I did so well in Yi, because it all just made sense, even though it had nothing to do with each other.
Hey, sometimes going full retard does really pay off. So do we hit? I don't need anyone to try and get me kicked off YouTube. I can do it myself. Let's fucking go.
Let's call it
we all know what I'm doing.
strategic.
All right. Does ETH break the third cycle curse? Does it run to massive all-time highs? Does it just barely break all-time high and then go back to the cut share? What happens?
So I do think ETH is going to break all-time highs. I do think the entire blockchain is going under something called planned product obsolescence. I think it's designed to screw over retail. And the reason why I say that is when I look at the analytics on Ethereum, there's over $123 billion worth of stables on top of that. Solana has about right around 11 to 12. BSC has about 10 billion. So when I look at it, I see institutions betting big on Ethereum. And then on top of that, their bridge TVL is right around 400 million. And I think their DeFi TVL is right around 60 billion. 400 billion. Yes. So long story short, what that tells me is that there's going to be big money bets on Ethereum, but we haven't seen it go yet. And I think in crypto in general, the one thing holding back this massive pump is going to be the Federal Reserve interest rates, and the fact that we're sitting at 5%, we need to be closer to 0 or somewhere right around 2%. So my prediction is there's going to be some sort of fuckery. I don't know if it's a bank collapse. I don't know if there's something on the world stage. I'm not going to use any buzzwords because I don't want to ban them off of YouTube. But the main point is there's going to be some sort of crisis, drop interest rates. It's go time, and I think Ethereum's going to run, but I think Pulse Chain is going to run harder.
Okay, nice little tie-in in the end. All right, Goo, sir.
What we talking about?
Nah, stop aping. Stop aping for 1 second.
Bro. Come on,
My
man.
man. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Does he run?
I really I block out a lot of the noise with this stuff, right? And I'm just looking at ETH my own way that I look at it. I got a line drawn at like 52.35, and I got another line drawn like around 7K. That's what I'm looking at. It's gonna happen. There's nothing nobody can say that can make me think different. One of the biggest things I've learned, right, is follow the big money. And when I first got involved with all of this stuff, right, I said, well, if the main goal is to trade all of this stuff to get more Bitcoin, then I'll just buy Bitcoin, right? And I was talked out of that. Like, no, that's ridiculous. That's stupid. Well, Bitcoin was $6,000 at that time. So if I would have just kept buying that thing, bro, I would have been all right, right? Smart Money was buying it, so I should have been too. So right now, Smart Money is buying Ethereum, right? The same way that they're buying up all the Bitcoin, they're buying up Ethereum now. So follow the Smart Money, right? So like I said, I got lines drawn at 5,200 and 7K. So let's go.
All right. Fucking love it. I think, look, one of the big giveaways to me is how much Ethereum Trump keeps buying and his foundation keeps accumulating. I mean, I think he's over above 200 million now in Ethereum. Like that's insane. Why would you be doing that if something isn't coming?
Did you vote for Kamala Harris?
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out.
God.
Spicy.
Throw
love
a
you, man.
block in the middle of my speech here.
That's
I'll tell you what I think is
Mago
happening.
Mo, bro. What you mean, bro?
Sorry, I had a troll. I'm sorry, Mo. Keep going. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Son of a bitch. I'm driving over giant roadblocks here. I think, like everyone else, that we've watched a giant level of manipulation on Ethereum. I think, all the big boys are in the game and they figured it out a little earlier than maybe the rest of the crowd thought they figured it out. And I think it just comes down to a moment where all of them get together and they're all like, all right, you ready? No more selling. And then wham, it just fucking shoots up. And then eventually, they'll do their fuckery again and they'll start taking their profits. But I think they've been suppressing it for quite a while and they're just sort of waiting for that moment. Because if you're telling me banks don't collude, I'm going to tell you you're full of shit. I'm going to tell you that the Federal Reserve is made by a bunch of banks. So this is their game. They run this shit. So if you don't think they're running this shit on Ethereum, I'd be very surprised if they're not doing the same thing there that they do in every other financial market that they try and control. So I kind of expect that at some moment they'll have some big secret powwow, probably up in Jackson Hole, and they'll all be like, all right, stop selling Ethereum for like 3 weeks. And then we'll start selling at increasing rates and whatever the hell they'll decide to exit out after that. But I think that's how that suddenly happens, is eventually they take the reins off and we see it finally go. Because there's too much institutional buying of Ethereum going on every day. It's got to run at some point.
Okay, so you've seen World Liberty Finance portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw there was a time where there was no Ethereum in their wallet, and they claimed they didn't sell. But Fidelity also has a large amount of Ethereum. Everybody's positioning themselves properly in order for what you just said, to collude and let it run. So we might not see a 15, 12K ETH. We might just see an 8 or 9. And that's enough for them to get a 4 or 5X, multiply their multi-millions, and then retail is stuck in the hype. So there's a lot of things in the background, man.
All right. Well, I just fucking killed the fucking energy of that fucking stream with that fucking answer. All right.
Woo!
Let's fucking
Yeah.
let's fucking pivot Let's pivot to the man of the hour. You, sir, are involved in something. What is it? And I'm going to spill the beans for some people who don't know already. It's on Pulse Chain. Tell me about how I can start surfing.
Yeah, so I am one of the faces of Crypto Paradise, which is kind of a KOL marketing umbrella. We also acquired the Decentralized Incubator, which is a launch pad from the past 2 cycles. And we had a DAO group. And we're like, hey, what better way? This business is built, bringing in revenue. What better way to kind of, create utilities for a Web 2 company coming into Web 3? Let's put a token on this. I mean, there's a ton of utilities that we can do. And we let the DAO kind of decide and vote. And the votes were coming in for BSC because that's where we made a lot of money. Votes are coming in for Base because of speculation on this cycle with the Coinbase ties, Ethereum because it's the OG. But then I kind of put my voice and my face out for the risk to reward on Pulse Chain. Seeing as Pulse Chain kind of bled out, I thought it was near the lows. Seeing as we found success from PTGC and the kind of the token tax system they had. And slowly but surely, the votes started changing to Pulse Chain. So we did launch the Surf token on Pulse Chain about 3 weeks ago. It was a fair launch at 11,000 market cap. It's up to over 3 million market cap, I think, right now. 5% buy tax, 5% sell tax. The way that breaks down, 0.5% of that auto buys and burns the token. And you can see on Dex Tools, not on this, but 1.95% of the total supply has already been burnt. 1% goes to reflection reward. So if you hold Surf, you get reflected 1% of the token taxes to your wallet. You don't have to stake, you don't have to lock, you don't have to do any of that. It automatically goes to your wallet. 1.5% goes to the DAO. The DAO then gets to decide how to use those funds. The first 30,000 that was received, the DAO voted to use all of it on Surf buybacks and LP ads to increase the liquidity web that we already have. Right now we have another $15,500 that is built up and has been voted on to be used at the end of this week for additional Surf buybacks and LP ads. And then there's also a 0.5% that auto gets added to the Surf and PLS LP. It's very important, of course, to support Pulse Chain, but we want the PLS pool to be proportionally larger than all the other pools. That is because all the token tax systems and all the token tax trades run through that pool. So we want as little impact to the chart as possible when it is doing the swapping of Surf for PLS and sending it to the DAO and the burns and everything else. And then lastly, 0.5% goes to the Surf and X LP. That is because this is in partnership with Coach X and the X protocol platform that they launched on Pulse Chain. One of their devs, Spy and CryptoKong, helped develop the smart contracts. We then had our own 2 internal developers audit it, and then we deployed it together with X protocol. So we're going to continue to add LP with X automatically ingrained in the smart contract based on the volume. I also believe X protocol with its liquidity web will run very well with PTGC, Pulse Chain, and all the blue chips. So of course, Surf will get to ride that wave as well. So that's kind of the token as far as, what are the tokenomics itself. Fair launch, high float, low FDV token tax system. If you want to get in the DAO, 200,000 Surf or more get you in the DAO. It's not just the DAO, it's also the alpha group for Crypto Paradise. So you will get calls on gems. If a project is going to market with us, you will be the first people to know. If you want to speculate that the Paradise pump comes, you can go ahead and do that. The last one we had was Fuck 9 to 5 on Solana. Came on to be marketed by us at 300K market cap. It's at a $1.8 million market cap right now. And there is some murmurs that some big KOLs on Pulse Chain are talking about that as well. It was done in a private group, so I won't make it public here. But don't be surprised if you see some big Pulse Chain shillers shilling Fuck to 9 on Solana. That's a little bit of alpha for you. Where's the discount to buy on that? I don't know. But that's the kind of alpha that you'll get in the DAO group. And then outside of that, we ran a investor syndicate for 6 years now. Got into seed rounds, private sale rounds of many successful pre-sales and early investment opportunities. The DAO members will be the only ones that can get into those opportunities. Number one, there's regulatory reasons. It needs to be in a private, gate-kept community for the most part. That's why it's a private Telegram group. And then number two, there's only a limited amount of funds that we can raise. Some of these projects approach us, and we can only raise $100,000 or $200,000. So we can't offer that to the broader 150,000 Crypto Paradise members. It really only needs to be to the 100, 200 DAO members that will get in those investment opportunities. And then, of course, on top of all of that, the revenue sharing from the company itself has been going back and buying Surf token and will continue to do so. There is a no expectation wallet as part of the token tax system that has $25,000 in it, and 5,000 of it has been deployed so far. And what it do? I literally just bought Surf, and it's just auto compounding its rewards. So that's kind of a high level overview. If you want to learn more, go to cryptoparadise.net. You can learn about Crypto Paradise as a company. You can learn about Surf as a token, and you can learn about myself, Nate, and Crypto Amaru as hosts and kind of content creators for that channel.
Awesome.
Hey, can you put that chart on the daily?
I like Crackhead.
Dude, Mo loves his Crackhead time frames.
Now that looks better. That's nice. That is
yeah, I mean,
nice
it's been doing very well, and this is all organic. So this is essentially what I want. The biggest thing for Crypto Paradise, as we get organically grow within the Pulse chain, because I know we have some Pulse chain holders. I know Goo God's got a bag, and Coach has got a bag, and some of the other people. But, you know, a lot of this is trying to onboard new people from other chains into Pulse chain. Like I said, we had the DAO. 60 to 70% of the DAO members never once used Pulse chain, not once. Well, guess what? We airdropped all them Surf. What did that make them do? They had to use Pulse chain. They had to figure out how to bridge over, get some Pulse chain if they wanted to access their Surf, if they wanted to dump it, hold it, whatever they wanted to do. Also, we are working with other KOL contacts. I told you I've been around for a while, 2016. So it's a lot of KOLs that are on like BSC and Base and Solana, and that's kind of what they shill because that's where they have their money at. So I'm trying to get them to dip their toes in on Pulse chain. I'm giving them some Surf for free out of my own personal bags to try to get them to bridge, get over here, because once they get capital and economic power on Pulse chain, then they will start talking about it. Otherwise, they have no interest in talking about Pulse chain because they can't pump their own bags. So we're slowly going to be bringing these names over. If you follow my feed, anytime we have these conversations, I post it and say, hey, look, another person bridging to Pulse chain to get on Surf, bridging to Pulse chain to get PTGC, bridging to Pulse chain to get a blue chip, whatever the conversation is. But I'm trying to get bigger, more familiar faces in the broader crypto spectrum that you guys would recognize and actually try to get them onto Pulse chain. Because Pulse chain has a lot of streamers, but it's a lot of, you know, the Hexicans and the Pulsicans, kind of this echo chamber and recycling of money. And let's be honest, Pulse chain blue chips are down and to the right. So the amount of economic power within the system that can be freshly deployed is kind of shrinking. So we need to figure out how to onboard these new money people. And my biggest thing is like, I'm like, hey, look, guys, people sacrificed this like 2-3 years ago, and you're going to get in at a 50% discount to these early believers. That rarely happens for successful projects, rarely happens for uprising tech companies or whatever it may be. And here's the opportunity. And they're slowly starting to dabble over. And I think, you know, Surf and Crypto Paradise hopefully can be an onboarding method to grow these communities. And then hopefully people like yourself can latch on and get that downward funnel downstream as well and get more viewership, more connections, collaborations, partnerships. That's really the purpose of Crypto Paradise and kind of the vision of why we launched on Pulse Chain. We see the upside opportunity, but what we want to accomplish is to bring new faces over here.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Nope.
Let's do it.
Nope.
Why is Binance tweeting little innuendos about Pulse?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of coincidences there with Binance and the Pulse. I will say that when CZ was in jail, Richard Hart did send CZ letters. So that's came from his mouth himself. So that did happen. So he does have a relationship there. Hopefully something gets done. CZ does follow me. I have said, yo, bro, what's going on? Haven't got a reply, so I don't have that alpha for you. But I'm with you. There is a lot of coincidences going on with the Binance post for sure.
So we see that Binance overturned its third-year curse, right? The third-year curse that other layer ones go through. I think that Richard Hart has prepared himself with very good friendships in the instance that Ethereum does not perform the way we expect it to. It's not a coincidence that Binance is hinting, or we interpret it as different hints, but it's not a coincidence that Binance is throwing these little signals out there that we can recognize, and that's going to tie everything together. So all we need is the SAC funds to just be in a little bit of profit for that to attract mass FOMO. And that's what I believe. It's not a coincidence that CZ and RH are friends. It's not a coincidence that Ethereum is going through its third cycle curse. It's almost as if this was all predetermined. And if you are aware, oh, look at that. ETH 27.74. Can we see 2,800 tonight? It might be 26 tomorrow, but hey, can we see 28 tonight? But yeah, I mean,
truer words have never been said.
You got to ask yourself these questions, because if you're not prepared to ask, you're not prepared to receive. And you have to ask yourself these questions if you want to make it in crypto, because there's a way that you can front run the narratives if you are aware of the minor details. And the Easter eggs have been placed in front of us this entire time. It's up to us to spread that message.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm done.
Chris, hey, you're good, brother. Chris,
What's up?
can you do some TA on Surf?
Sure. I got you. Let me pull up the chart.
Dude is focused, man.
Yeah, you just bounced off of a magnet, and I was trying to read the chart. I had a bunch of people start DM me on live stream while that bounce was happening.
Yeah. Well, we got you on recording from Monday saying it's going to hit 4 million. So
Yeah, bro. Like you called it. I bought more.
I was waiting for that. It's hard not to buy before it went down to 4 million.
Yeah.
It's like, is it going to do it?
But Chris called it. So when I saw it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go build this desk, and I'll come back and watch it later.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I need a break from crypto. I'm gonna build a desk.
Yeah. So hold on. Give me 1 second.
I remember the launch too. I remember the launch and the breakout, and then it just kept breaking out day after day, and that was the talk of Pulse Chain on how this launch actually just kept going, and how the liquidity just grew. So, big ups to you, Nick.
Yeah. So just taking a look at this chart, we had a nice launch, then we had a quick correction at the beginning, 64 correction, and then this thing just gigasend right out the gate after that correction. 1, 2, 3, 4 shooting star doji. So typically when you see like a shooting star doji like this, it's an indicator of a potential reversal, more than 50%, but it actually had a bullish engulfing candle the next day. So a lot of mass accumulation going on, and then came up here, topped out a little bit, and then we started going through the growing pains. Now, what's interesting about this chart right here, we had a dump, doji, and then a bullish engulfing candle. If we close out above 0.02885, that's called a morning star. Morning star is going to indicate a pretty good, decent reversal, which means I would say it would come up and retest all-time highs. Now the question is, do we come up, test all-time highs, and then bounce down, or we start to surpass? So definitely going to be a trend reversal in my opinion. Now I need to check the MACD. Yeah, so the MACD is just validating what I was saying on the trend reversal. So we did have a cross on the MACD right here. So in my opinion, I think that morning star is going to play out. Now, last thing I want to check is the RSI.
You had a cross and the retest of the cross, and it's continuing the bullish momentum. So that's actually really bullish MACD right there, bro.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. And then the other thing I also see, this rarely happens, but this is called a hidden bullish divergence. So you had that cross and that goo guy was talking about, and then you had the RSI come down. You had a lower low, lower low. I mean, you had a low, a lower low, and then a bounce. And when you see that bounce, it's called a hidden divergence. So in my opinion, this chart actually looks really good. And I don't think you're going to get a crazy dump that I think most people are expecting, because when you look at the chart right across the board, a lot of people are like, all right, This thing's sent. Now we're gonna wait for it to come back down, test out this magnet, and then ape in. But in my opinion, it's just gonna be a lot of sideways consolidation, if not retest the all-time high. So overall, healthy chart, looks good.
Let's fucking go.
Look,
Little
I
Birdie
think-
actually got in my ear before this thing started, and I missed the start. And right as I missed the start, I even missed the dump. And on day 3, I was like, "Oh, I missed it. I'll get in on the next dump." Shit, I missed it. All right, top lasting. Yeah, this is a top lasting cycle for me. That's all. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, and I think part of this is, like I said, we're onboarding new users to Pulse Chain, so kind of the same chart patterns that we're seeing with a lot of launches on Pulse Chain. This has been a little bit stronger because you're getting new influx of money and new influx of community. Also, I think timing is a big thing. We launched it right around near the bottom of what I think is going to be generational bottom for Pulse Chain, which means it will be easier for us to grow to the upside. Obviously, Pulse Chain TA we can do. There is a level that Pulse Chain kind of needs to hold pretty soon here to continue upward momentum, but that will drag us higher as well. So unless there's a black swan on Pulse Chain itself, I probably agree with you that, yeah, the fundamentals and the token economics behind the token allow for more upside because there is incentives to hold, incentives to buy, and automatic built-in buy pressure from the token tax system. And then, yeah, that launch, when we saw the consolidation, it's almost like, we've been advisors on projects for dozens of projects, and maybe we went a little silent for a few days to get the weak hands out, let the people who got in at 11K, 10K, 20K, 30K, take your 5X, take your 10X, take your gains. We're going to let this consolidate. I'm going to go chill on a beach. And when I left for the beach, it was the day of the low, and I gave the warning, hey, this is going to be the low. I'm on a beach, and when I get back, the organic growth is going to begin, the crypto paradise onboarding is going to begin, and the chart is going to go up and to the right. And, I might have been that little birdie in your DMs, Mo. I don't know. I kind of reached out to a couple people I respect in the space or I wanted to collaborate with and told you, hey, this is going to be the low. This isn't going to be my money, but there is going to be money flowing into this project. We're 2 out of 3 of us are on vacation, but when we get back, things are going to start heating up, and we're going to, prove ourselves not just on price appreciation or the price chart. Obviously, the best marketing in crypto is green candles. That's plain and simple. You can have the best fundamentals, best utilities, but if you don't have a good price chart, nothing's going to happen. But on top of that, we truly believe that we have a great community. We truly believe that we are onboarding people to Pulse Chain, and we are on Pulse Chain for benevolent reasons. We want to benefit Pulse Chain. We believe in the upside of Pulse Chain, and I think other communities are going to want to collaborate with us as they have a similar vision or they believe the vision that we have, and that's kind of what's been happening. We collaborated with Crypto Coffee and his Top Hat token. We've already gone on one of his live streams. We're talking with one of his devs for further collaborations. We collaborated with Coach X and X Protocol. We collaborated. We're in talks with GuGod with one of his projects. I won't drop that alpha here. We collaborated. We did a recorded video with Emmett Farm, a new DeFi platform launched on Pulse Chain. So we're going to see if we can get a farm for surf holders as well. And we collaborated with Teddy Takeover. And I know that's another topic altogether. Are you on the side of Teddy Takeover? Or are you on the side of Teddy Bear? We're on the side of good projects that want to collaborate with us. We'll work with anybody. And the DAO is actually even voting to try to get the Bear liquidity pool as well and kind of let those two battle it out and see what the liquidity turns out to be. But we're seeing a lot of organic growth and collaborations, and I don't think that's going to slow down at all.
That's a great way to approach that. Although I would argue that green candles are the second best thing. The first best thing is when people such as you and, half the gentlemen on this stream pull a Babe Ruth and you point to center field and then you knock it out of the fucking park. That's the best fucking thing in marketing ever. And 3 people have done that now on this stream. You've done it with Surf, Goo, and Chris have done it. Blockhead's done it with his own projects himself. So, you know what? And actually, everyone's done it so far in this stream because we've had a lot of fun in BPDI, which we started at a 0 market cap with 1 holder, and we're just working our way up. And we had a little dip, but we got over 600 holders. And we like I said, we had a little dip. We crested, I think 130K market cap. And then now we kind of had about a 60% correction. So we're working our way forward, and it's extremely fun. But
Nick, did you know you can get PDI on base now?
So I have seen the ticker once because I tuned into a couple of shows and I was just lurking in the background. I don't know all the details, but we can talk about that this show or off camera and figure out a way we can collaborate. Or again, look, we're a marketing service and we charge for our services, but we are making exceptions. People that collaborate with us, we give back the favor. So, we're welcome to have you on Crypto Paradise, whether it's a crypto shill and chill spaces, an interview, a live show, show your project. Not going to say everybody loves it or gets it right away, but you're welcome to use the platform because again, if people are collaborating with us, we're not here like, oh, we got more followers, we can't collaborate with you. Look, everybody, whether they have 1 follower or 100,000 followers, can pull their own weight, can do their own thing, has their own microphone, and every microphone counts, every holder counts, and that's how you get up and to the right. That's how you grow a network, is understanding it's not who has the bigger stick. It's the fact that everybody has their own stick, and you would rather have the person with the stick on your side rather than across the street from you.
Also, to add to that, base PDI is going to flip XRP. It's been mathematically proven.
Hey, I would love to see it. I'll get behind it because XRP, I took a lot of hate. Remember, 2016 when I came into play. So we were buyers of XRP sub 1 penny and sellers of XRP at, I don't know, $2, didn't take all the gains, but $2 or something. And I always hated on that thing. We trade it once a year. When we trade it, they usually do their swell conference in November. We buy it in October. It runs up in the swell conference and we dump it on all their community's head. And we say, hey, I told you so. We've been doing this for 8 years. XRP's dog shit. Thanks for the 20% gains. So I'm on board with that.
Yeah, man. We're going to change the world. We're going to figure it out when we peg. We're going to peg this thing so hard, and then we're going to flip XRP. Fuck them.
I love it. I fucking love it.
That's
Oh my God.
hilarious.
All right.
I like Nick
one more
Extra
thing.
now. I don't know why.
I know, right? Like that was the greatest thing I've ever heard right there. I'm gonna have to clip it at some point.
I gotta bounce between my institutional financial background and then my degenerate background. So, I used to work in institutional finance as a performance analyst for alternative investment asset classes, which is hedge funds, private equity, real estate, precious metals. That's kind of how I got into stumbling upon Bitcoin. And that's what I worked in for like 7 years until I went full-time crypto. So I always finding myself stuck with the institutional educated background and then the new degenerate crypto meme guy. So I bounce back and forth depending on the night, I guess.
The degen wins most of the time now, doesn't it?
Yeah, man. You're on a full degen panel right now. We are shitcoin venture capitalists, and we're about to get licensed.
Do you guys have a fund started yet? Can I invest in the fund or what?
Yeah,
That's a goo guy question. I'm not responsible for goo guy. The goo guy takes care of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my God! All right,
I'm off
we got a little bit of. Oh God! All right, we have a little bit of alpha, a little bit more alpha to give tonight. Blockhead's got a couple projects on Pulse Chain, and he wants to talk about possibly, I heard, some exciting things happening on one of them, Adamantium. Am I making that up? Did I hear that right?
Oh no. Let's talk about it. I guess it's time.
Pull up your chart.
I'm getting.
I got it up if you want to share my screen.
You got it.
So Logan was the first project that I dropped.
God damn! What the fuck happened there?
And it reflects
that
Logan,
bro. Sheesh.
Bro, this was crazy. I woke up this morning, I saw the chart. I was like, holy fuck.
That's the
crazy.
Booyah effect, bro. I love that chat, bro. Legend. Let's go.
We got a 22x from the bottom.
22.
Yeah.
I
All right.
love numbers.
Go for it, Block.
I love numbers.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
Logan was my first project, and it was meant to fully support the X protocol, right? So it reflects X, it burns the rivers, it burns Heath, and it burns itself. All LP, all that's included into Logan, right? But the market didn't receive it very well. So I dropped Adamantium. It was supposed to be a supplement to Logan. Now it's more so an onboarding tool. When we brought this up on the stream on Monday, it was a third of the price of what it is now. So that is the effect of the verse and Mo.
House of Warlords.
When I looked at it on
LP.
stream, it was a 28. I think it was a 28K, and I was just like, "Holy shit, let's do this!"
Yeah, 28K. No, I just want to say one thing. Remember when I looked at the camera and I told everybody, I said, look, when me and Guga called PTGC at a 32K market cap, we were on live stream, we talked about it, and then it goes off to I don't remember the top. What was it, like 300 million or something? 400 million, right?
Yeah.
This could be this could be a very similar scenario. Like we tend to shield these small things and they go absolutely bananas. That's just how we roll. So, but yeah, keep going, man. Didn't mean to interrupt.
So through my journey, I tried to experiment with what works, what doesn't. I'm still in the process of learning, right? As a young developer, you have to win by trial and error. You can't play on testnet and expect full results. So I dropped Adamantium, and it came out well. It did well. And then, like everything else, that downtrend happened when Pulse Chain major corrected. I mean, it went from like 4 zeros and a 4 to 4 zeros and a 1.8. I think that's what the lowest was. And we found the bottom. And I was like, wait, Adamantium was originally supposed to be a treasury system for Logan, but I'm going to use it as an onboarding tool. I'll let the community take care of Logan. You know, I left Logan in good hands, and now Adamantium has a 3% buy and sell tax, 1% burns the token itself, and 2% reflects wrapped ETH, which is really awesome because now ETH is on an uptrend. Now ETH is breaking out, and so. I mean, I'm right here with you looking at the chart for the first time all day. I mean, this is
that's nuts, dude.
You put it on the daily, it looks like like Logan has a rounded bottom, like Chris was explaining on Monday, but this is something different, man.
Yeah, look at the monthly chart just real quick. That's probably one of the craziest monthly charts I've ever seen in my crypto career. And I've viewed like thousands of charts. This is the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen.
And the
so
liquidity,
you're paying the tax now. What are you getting? What are you getting with that tax?
Wrapped ETH.
Wrapped ETH. So that is my attempt to onboard. No, 2% is wrapped ETH. 1% burns the token.
Gotcha.
I like.
And I have a little bit of supply control, so I'll add liquidity at when it's when I see fit. Every time somebody dumps, I'll add liquidity there. No expectation from the work of others. Understand that this is a meme, but it pays you in wrapped ETH, and it is a volume-based token. So if people are wondering, oh, why isn't it printing as often? Well, it's volume-based, but every time somebody sells, they will trigger the rewards. Or every time somebody adds LP, they will trigger the rewards. And it might build up for a little bit. But with the burn behind Adamantium, I see an exponential effect upon the rewards and upon the price appreciation. And the wrapped ETH is a way to pay the holders, and they can use it to buy Pulse. They can use it to buy anything on Pulse Chain. They can use it to buy more Adamantium if they want, if they so please. It's a free and open market. That's what Richard preached. You know, freedom of speech, freedom of movement. And now we have a chart that's a little bit entertaining.
Little.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if we hit that, I think it was the 4.236 fib. This thing would be at 0.007468. So this looks beautiful, man. Good work.
Yeah,
I think ETH is helping this out. I think the uptrend on ETH is causing this to do a little something. So it's a speculation play. I don't care if people buy or sell. I mean, it's just another token. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to bring people to Pulse Chain as well. and I'm trying to do it the right way. You know, there's ways you can exit without hurting the main chart, and that's the goal for adamantium. You know, to teach people how to profit without engaging in the PvP. Just move with the chain. Just like a surf token, just ride the wave. You know, like it doesn't take much. Hey,
bro.
Boom. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't take much for you to get out your position if the chain moves 5-10%.
And to add to that, Tim, sorry, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, but to add to that, a great strategy for this is you take your yield, buy the ADMT token, and you can compound it exponentially. That compound exponential effect will help out the price chart, but also it can also help out your bag. Sorry, keep going.
I don't want to get people caught up in the compound game, because when I came to crypto 4 years ago, I hyper compounded a lot of our ROI dApps to death. You know what I mean? What's that question there?
They're asking if there's a tax on the LP.
Yeah, there's a
or tax
there's a
for
3%,
LP, like add to the LP.
I mean, you're gonna hit that 3% tax.
Yeah. Is there a tax on transfers as well?
I don't think so. I had somebody double check for me, and I don't think there's a transfer tax, but there is a buy and sell tax and an LP interaction tax.
Okay.
But I mean, hey, we got something that will appreciate in value because of the buy and burn. I'll be in the background adding LP, and you can always V3 out if you want to. That's why I have that's why I'm with you guys in the council of LP, so we can teach these people how to do it properly. Because these gains are nice, but you don't have to hurt somebody's chart. You know, you don't have to cause a red spike to win. And that PvP stuff, man, like there's a way around it. I know crypto is always PvP, and traditional finance is always PvP, and somebody has to lose for somebody to win. But I think we can start something different, and at least we can create our own tribe. In a sense.
Yeah, and there's definitely a difference between reckless PvP and actually doing it the right way, which you were kind of talking about there. So interesting to learn more on that, and if you guys go through that and keep educating people on doing so, and also when people want to exit positions, whether that's you're exiting surf or you're exiting this or that or admit or whatever. There's a smart way to do it that you probably win more too. And if you are full clicking 100% max sell, increase your slippage to 25%, not only are you killing that chart, you're costing yourself slippage. The downtrend is going to continue because that's just the way momentum works in crypto. So any other of the remaining bags you have or your friends that you got in, your family's bags, they're going to hurt as well. You're better off doing a DCA in, a DCA out, and that's how you can keep upward momentum going. And you probably will be able to sell more tokens at higher valuations that way as well.
Yeah,
it's a very good point, especially with lower market cap. You have to understand that low market cap to get into even just nominal size takes momentum, and momentum dies real fast if someone who has a large bag full clips out and just nukes the chart while it's super low market cap, low liquidity. So
there's karma attached.
There's lots of ways.
There's karma attached to that too, right? Like they say, greed kills. And Chris and I, we've seen in the past week 2 spiraling crash outs. And when you start doing the math and you start looking what these guys are doing, they were all into the PvP. They were all into the sneaky dumping on friends and all of that shit. They were all into that, right? Now we see the effect of it. And it's all karma, man. Greed kills. Like, respect the pump, bro. You understand?
Yeah, there's reputational risk in anything to do with finances. And once you ruin your reputation, well, guess what? You get kicked out of the group. You stop getting the alpha. You stop getting the insights. You stop getting the early entries. You stop getting the opportunities. So you wanting that whole pie is going to cost you many more pies over the years. Everybody just wants their little piece. And if I just only take my little piece of the pie, my cabal, my group, my community will keep coming back, baking me new pies for me to take my one little piece. So just keep that in mind when you do things. And I know if you're an anonymous or whatever, maybe you think it doesn't affect you, but that's where karma comes into place. But if you show your face at all, anybody on this panel, whether you have a 1 follower, 100,000 followers, there's wallet trackers, there's reputational risk, and there's a lot of cycles to go with crypto. Crypto isn't a dying sector. It's going to be here for many years, and you're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities cycle after cycle if you have a bad reputation on what you do in this crypto space to other people and to these financial instruments.
Right.
That is absolutely right.
100%.
I want to say if anyone doubts that you can't educate people that have whale positions in a token on how to responsibly exit, you're not thinking correctly, in my opinion. And
I have 4 videos.
And if you check out, I can't get out of the way. So that's what we're representing. Just total education, and something that Blockhead has helped turn me on to, and what Johnny and I will be creating some educational content on, is that it is possible to single side out on a tax token, and 9mm provides that opportunity. So you better believe that I'm going to be playing around with the ADMT pools and making sure that everybody knows who's behind this, who's supporting it, and the education that we want to bring to help people understand. There's a beauty in, I think, kind of like a little evolution on a printer when you have an organic community behind it, and organic growth and volume-based payout of a reflection token. It's really interesting to me. Does Surf have a 9mm pool?
Breaking news. Ethereum is $2,772, bros.
Yo.
We are so back.
That is
I'm going 500x long. Fuck
there
it.
you go. Hey, we just had
I'm about to jump off because I'm about to go sell my long, bro. I'm up on that thing right now, like 130%.
Wait. You just gave us an update for $2 down, because Johnny already called it at 270.74.
Oh, I ain't hear that.
You're like, breaking news, we're down $2.
No, he didn't say it. He just chatted it. He chatted.
Oh, wait, he put it in the chat. My bad. All right. No, but still.
It don't count. It don't count.
Yo,
It doesn't count. I put it in chat.
6.5 million.
I'll go fuck myself. Sorry, dude. You're right.
Johnny, just go buy Yee. Don't worry about all the other shit.
Oh, come on, Betty. You know I'm all in it.
Put him on
run the
stage.
V3 pool.
Oh, we're gonna run that. We're gonna run that V3 pool in like 15 minutes.
Oh hell yeah! Exert dominance. Huh?
All right.
Huh?
I got one last. Huh? Is it that part of the stream? We're all gonna huh each other. One last curveball to throw the whole chat. I don't think we've ever talked about this.
Oh boy.
How
do you feel about Litecoin?
Michael Saylor.
No.
Savior, evil guy, misunderstood, finally grabbed the right bag. What are your takes on Michael Saylor? Who? Huh?
Oh. What?
All right. So we'll start with Chris then.
Michael Saylor's launching a protocol. No, he's not.
So let me understand the question. What do I think about Michael Saylor?
What do you think about Michael Saylor? Is he positive? Is he a negative? Sorry.
He's probably the ultimate Bitcoin show at this point, because he's going on like mainstream media and telling people what Bitcoin is. So he's like a huge marketer. But on the flip side, now he's so tied in with Bitcoin with MicroStrategies. Anything he says or does is going to impact Bitcoin. And the one thing that really concerns me, well, let me start off with the positive. The positive is he's building a business model where he takes his financial firm, goes in, buys Bitcoin, and it's really driving adoption behind it. But the downside is when he sells one of those Bitcoins, what is that going to do to the market? And that's what I'm really concerned about. So there's some speculation that if he starts selling some of those Bitcoins, there's a good chance that we're going to start to see a massive drop in the market, and that might end altcoin season. That's what some people are speculating. I'm not really sure if I'm all about that, but I think overall he's a net positive for bringing the industry forward. So,
okay, fair enough. I like there's this thing I like to say with one of my seniors. She always likes to imagine all the worst case scenarios. I'm like, stop doing your imaginary horribles. Maybe that's just an imaginary horrible that the market's coming up with, but that's an interesting thought. How does the market react if he sells 100 Bitcoin, sells 1,000 Bitcoin?
I just don't think he'll have to touch any of the MicroStrategy Bitcoin for multi cycles. He has his own personal bags. He has hidden wallets. He has extra wealth. He also has a lot of equity in MicroStrategy, which has a very bloated valuation. He can sell that if he needed. He now launched these other 2 new equities that are new to the space. One is doing USD yield rather than Bitcoin yield. So he has equity in those as well. So I guess the scenario in which you would have to sell MicroStrategy or choose to sell MicroStrategy Bitcoin would have to be in the next bear market black swan event, and he's over levered in his positions. I don't see. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't know what the scenario would be this cycle for him having to sell Bitcoin, which would dampening the cycle that we all think is coming.
Maybe he does too many rails one night and just fucking goes all out, and he's like, fucking sell.
Yeah, there is definitely systematic risk with Michael Saylor. I think he is a net positive right now, and he's gotten GameStop on board, and he's pitched it to Microsoft, so he's definitely a net positive. I think he's kind of a little eccentric on it sometimes, but you got to be a hype guy if you're going all in this with billions and you want other people to do it. So you got to play the character, and we'll see what happens. I think the systematic risk comes in not this cycle, in following cycles. We'll see how the levering of positions all kind of breaks down and everything else there. But he's been a boomer bust in the past, so at some time I'm sure he'll find a way to bust this, but I don't think it happens.
I kind of tried to slip that in there. I was wondering if anyone would touch that.
So in traditional finance, if you go look at his history, he has been on all the biggest magazines, Forbes and whatever, for going from zero to hero and then quickly blowing it up. And essentially MicroStrategy was a stagnant, dying software company that really doesn't produce much for revenues until he got on board with Bitcoin. And he was even late to, he knew about Bitcoin, at the same time as me, and was hating on it with in 2016, sub $1,000 Bitcoin, didn't like it, wanted nothing to do with it. And it took him all the way until 2019 or 2020 before he became a proponent of it. So he could have been in an even better situation. It's probably better for all of us that he, his average cost is like $70,000 instead of $1,000. That's for sure.
Okay. Blockhead. Michael Saylor, savior, future Black Swan. What do you think?
PSYOP. He's a PSYOP.
He's an alien, bro. He's a reptilian.
He's a plant.
That's
just plant.
That's just noise, man. Block the noise. That's just noise. That's it. It's a PSYOP. Don't get distracted.
Just more imaginary horribles people coming up with to try and FUD themselves out of their own bags.
I mean, you can't tell somebody when to buy or sell, and he's trying to be a market maker, which is cool, which is great. But wasn't he fighting Bitcoin in the very beginning?
Mm-hmm.
Now all of a sudden he's one of the biggest holders? Nah, that's a PSYOP, my guy.
All right,
I mean, isn't that what we see in the shitcoin space every day? You see influencer come and say, "Oh, this token is terrible. Never buy it." And then you get the huge dip, and then you go and look in their wallet, and they got 2% of the supply. You know what I mean? So,
oops.
Johnny, do you have a poster of Michael Saylor in your office?
No, but I do have the Bitcoin Standard by Safety on my wall behind me.
All I see is Tony Montana.
I think that's Tony Montana, bro.
I keep forgetting it. In crypto, it's all about receipts.
All right, there we go. Bitcoin. Okay, all right, there we see it. All right,
there you go.
Perfect.
Bitcoin Standard. I highly recommend this book. Fascinating. I think anyone that talks positively about crypto is a net positive. Like, is Michael Saylor going to come out and be like, "Oh, fucking BP die is the fucking truth"? No, I don't expect him to do that. But I know I can't get into the same meetings as he can get in with people. Like, he's on that level. He can get a meeting with anybody in the world to talk about crypto. So all the people that are hating on Michael Saylor, it's kind of like, why? Why? Because he's not talking about your one thing that you love. Like, you gotta, just like Blockhead was saying, just fucking, you gotta drown that shit out. At the end of the day, he's talking about it. He's talking about it at conferences. When he talks, people listen. Is he eccentric? A little bit, but he's very, very knowledgeable about what he talks about. When he talks, I listen, and I don't hold Bitcoin.
And you know what that does? That takes away attention from the dollar.
Right, exactly. So what? At the end of the day, what are we trying to do here? You know what I mean?
Trying to teach people.
And listen, if ETH is leverage on Bitcoin, Pulse Chain is leverage on ETH, and then our bags that we're holding that aren't core is leverage on Pulse. At the end of the day, man, I want Bitcoin to fucking go yard. I don't really pay too much attention to like the Bitcoin ETH ratio. I know like Sami does 20 videos a day on where we are at the Bitcoin ETH ratio, because my stuff that I'm in is leverage on all that bullshit. So I tend to drown out most of that. I don't like hypothesizing where I think ETH is going to go to. Yeah, it's kind of fun, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter for me, because what I'm holding is turbo hyper fucking leverage on ETH. If ETH does a 2x, I feel like I'm going to be in a very good position. The majority of people on this panel are going to be in a very good position if ETH just does a 2x, So I don't even care if ETH gets to 25,000 or if it gets to 7,000 or 8,000, because from where we are right now, anything is better than where we're at right now. So I'll take it. And I've planned accordingly. I've level set my expectation for this cycle, because I got in the trap the last two cycles. I got trapped. So now, no more traps. You're not going to trap my ass.
Your attitude is the picture behind you. Like, that's okay. You give me ETH at 7,000. You'll love me in the morning. I don't care.
That's right.
That's fine.
Like, what are you in? You got to look at what you're in. Are you in a strong community? Are you a believer in what you're in? Do you like the founder? You know what I mean? Does he have an awesome beard? Like, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. And Sami makes a really good point. And he talks about how he'll go into other communities and shit talk and just troll to see how much lashback he gets. And if he doesn't get a lot of lashback, he's not going to participate in what they have to offer. Bro, if you come into Pulse Chain, if you go on Twitter and you try talking shit about Pulse, like dear Jesus, you are going to get eviscerated, right, by like 5,000 people immediately, right? So House of Warlords, same thing. House of Warlords, Council of LP, our groups. I'm sure Nick can say the same thing about his. If someone comes into your house and tries talking shit, you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna be like, "Get the fuck out!" Right?
Yeah.
Those are the kind of communities that I like and that I'm in, and I feel like I'm in them. So, I if ETH goes to 9,000, 10,000, 12,000, or if it just cucks us at 7,000, like, it doesn't matter, because what I'm in is turbo hyper leverage on that shit anyway. So, dude, we're getting into coins at like 20,000 market cap. You know what I mean? So it's like, if ETH does like a 4x and everything's tied to it, you know what I mean?
Fucking go.
Let's fucking go. That's it.
Ted, Michael Saylor,
What's the
here over zero.
Michael Saylor. I think he's good for Bitcoin, but to be honest with you, I don't listen to much of what he says. I let the market dictate the story. That's how I see it. I mean, realistically, he's a good face for it. I think what he's doing to promote it is good. But I really don't pay much attention to him. I think the market speaks more for it than he does.
Okay, fair enough. Sheriff Ted with the level-headed response. I like it. Nathan.
Michael J. Saylor.
Like
He's an American entrepreneur and business executive. Yeah. He's credited with inventing relational analytics and leading MicroStrategy into cloud computing, mobile analytics, and other fields.
Son of a bitch. You're...
Here's a fun fact. Michael Saylor became wealthy through a combination of successful aping into Yee and and Pepe V2, baby.
Let's go.
You got me locked.
Yee died.
I hear Yee. That's the buzzword. So,
dude,
Hey,
Yee's
he just stuck his head
6.7
up.
million, baby. Let's go.
I mean,
is going to $80 billion. I mean, $8 billion market cap.
Peak is gonna follow suit.
Did you say 80 billion?
80 billion. We're going to 80 billion, baby.
Come on.
80 billion.
It's the unicorn.
He died almost up 1%.
It's the unicorn of the cycle.
Nick's
yeah,
like,
okay.
what fucking stream did I just walk on to?
Your
Fucking
jobs,
Yee,
leave
80
your
billion.
wife,
I'm sorry.
Nick, by the way,
Nick, I'm
you-
sorry. We're all
you're
retarded.
awesome,
Just
dude.
remember that.
Well, I mean, XRP is going to a trillion market cap, right? Something like
10,000
that.
They're gonna have
10,000 a
to-
coin by tomorrow for XRP. Duh.
Bro,
Let's go.
My coworkers are telling
Let's
me,
go.
my coworkers are like, XRP's all time high, and I'm like, bro, sell that shit. What the fuck are you holding it for? Like, what?
Dude,
And then the
everybody
next
starts-
week, they were like, "Thanks, man. Thank you for telling me that because I wouldn't have no idea." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, my guy."
Right.
Oh my God.
That's the top signal. When everybody starts when normies show you XRP, sell everything. That is the ultimate top signal because 99% of them don't even know what the fuck it is. So if anybody says XRP, start selling.
The Walmart person starts telling me about XRP. It's time to just.
Well,
Your
I mean,
Uber driver. Your Uber
when
driver, that
XRP
was
your
meme
Uber
coins
driver.
started running and people were going to go degen over there, that was a good top signal, bro.
Also, I think Uber drivers are in crypto. It's when the Lyft fucking driver starts pitching you crypto. You're like, oh, this fucking boomer. Jesus. Ted, I'm sorry. We cut you off on your idea on Michael Saylor. Overall good, but you just don't really follow it. I think this is what you were saying.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I pay more attention to the market, not so much words. I mean, I listen to words. I listen to what people say, but everybody has their own message and how they spin it. But when it comes down to just looking at the data, I'd rather go with that than, rely on what somebody's trying to preach or say.
All right. That's right. Level-headed, Sheriff. Appreciate you. Goo. Do you have a shrine to Michael Saylor in your backyard?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I do love Bitcoin, right?
He messages me all the time about Michael Saylor. Goo loves him.
So interesting, right? Vibra Finance had attempted to educate me on Michael Saylor and miseducated me. So I go to roast Mr. Michael Saylor one day, right? Saying all this stuff. And then my good friend Nick Hellmann comes along that I've known for a couple of years and absolutely roasts me in the comments and tells me how wrong I am and everything else. And then there's about 50 other comments backing him up. So I'm like, okay, hold on. So Michael Saylor can't get liquidated? And it was like, oh, tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh, man, bro, I got to delete this fucking thing, bro, because, I mean, it's one thing to engagement farm, but, bro, this is next level right here. So I deleted my comment. I changed my stance on Michael Saylor, and I think he is an overall net positive for my bags because, hey, we own this stuff, right? Or some of us own this stuff, and he's out there top blasting. He's out there shilling. He's out there, pitching this to, big time billions of dollars, AUM institutions and all of this stuff. So, like, yeah, I'm a fan now. Got to be honest.
Goo just dropped his TMZ statement. Like, look, I was young back then. I didn't know what I was talking about. I pulled it all back. Don't worry. But just don't hold me for that one tweet that I did 5 years ago.
I blame Vibra. I gotta blame Vibra. You know, sometimes he blames me for plays and this and that. This time he's got to eat this one, bro.
I think you made a good point there, though, too. If any of the founders or faces of an altcoin that you were in were doing what Michael Saylor was doing, just on a lesser scale, you would love the guy. So I think you got to apply that to what he's doing for Bitcoin. He's just doing it on a scale that maybe people have jealousy or think it's going to be the major top for Bitcoin, but he is putting the money where his mouth is. Literally, if he dies, his personal wallets go to MicroStrategy to be added to the MicroStrategy Bitcoin reserve. And he's getting in meetings with Microsoft and pitching a Bitcoin strategic reserve. It was voted down. I think 95% voted it down back in December, but they have another meeting in June. Will that 95% change to 50 now that there's regulatory clarity? I don't know. There's a possibility. He met with Ryan Cohen and GameStop, and what do you know? 3 months later, they bought $500 million, and they have another $1 billion to buy in Bitcoin. So the people he is meeting with is converting to billions of dollars of buys on the Bitcoin chart. And again, the tide will raise all ships. And, if this was an altcoin, you'd be loving the dude. So I think that's why you got to give him the kudos. Don't have to agree with everything he says. Yes, there's systematic risk. Yes, it kind of gets away from this decentralized, monetary policy that the vision started for Bitcoin. But it's in the big boy stage now. And that's why it takes degenerates like us to find the next new things and get back to the mantras of crypto and let Bitcoin and Ethereum sail away into the institutions.
Nick,
see, one of the things I
Pulse Chain strategic reserve, and you can be the Michael Saylor of Pulse Chain. Boom. That's what we're gonna do. Nick's gonna fucking do this shit. We're doing this. Pulse Chain strategic reserve. We're doing it.
That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because we did there was a mastermind group that I did yesterday in Telegram. It's a bunch of Pulse Chain guys. Gugat, I think you're supposed to be there. You missed it. And somebody on there said, you kind of had the cadence and the voice of kind of Michael Saylor. I think you need to be the Michael Saylor of Pulse Chain. So it's coming through again. And Chaos Chris, there you are. You're beating the drum there.
Yes, sir. And if anything goes wrong, it's your fault.
Exactly. Be loved on the way up and hated on the way down. That's how it is in the financial markets.
One of the interesting things
Sorry,
that you said, Nick. Hunt. One of the things that you said, Nick, reminds me of an interview I remember seeing him in, where he said if he died, he was gonna actually burn his seed phrases and wipe out all the keys. It's like that's kind of like one of those. It's like one of those mixed messages you hear that you kind of get lost in. It's like because you had said I wasn't aware that he was gonna. If he was to die, he's going to give his stuff to MicroStrategy or whatever. But I had heard him say in previous interview that when he kicks the bucket, he's taking everything with him, including the seed phrases and that for everything he has, so nobody gets it. So it's like, what is it? That's kind of like my point with some of the messages that he puts out. It's like I'd rather look at the data.
I'll take either one. I'll tell you what though, because if he gives it to MicroStrategy for the strategic reserve, or if he just burns it, either way, I love when I hear some rich fucking CEO be like, "When I die, my family gets nothing. They need to earn their own shit. They need to make their own."
You're
shit.
Such a hater, dude.
But no, because you know what I know. Because you know what I know. This is what I know. When that happens, if a case like that happens, like say Warren Buffett goes, they're not getting stock in my fucking company. That means his family can't nuke his company as soon as he dies. I'm super happy with that.
Does anybody know if Michael Saylor has a family? I've never seen him with kids, a wife. No, I don't even know if I've seen him with a girl. There was one.
I was just about to say that, bro.
There's one picture where there was like a hot girl in the background at a pool or something, but I've never seen him like arm around a girl or anything.
I mean, in my opinion, he's an industry plant, right? So he's gonna say stuff to mix you up, Ted. He's gonna say black one day, and then 3 days later, he's gonna say white. He's gonna say whatever they tell him to say. He's not playing with his own money. He's not working for himself. I mean, he's the biggest face of Bitcoin, bro. You understand? That man is nothing more than a puppet. So, like you said, don't go on the words or none of that, bro. Go on the data. And, watch what the money is doing. And the blockchain never lies. Numbers never lie, bro.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't kill my hype.
Yeah.
I don't want his family getting any of that shit if he has a
Right.
family.
With that too, I think Arkham, he was asked at Bitcoin 2025 about the reserves of MicroStrategy and sharing all the wallets, and he kind of had a roundabout statement on why he doesn't want to do that. But I think Arkham did just track down another one of his wallets, and you can actually track all the MicroStrategy wallets. Not all of them. I think they said they accounted for like 85% or something now currently, but they've been doing their best to be blockchain sluts and track down which wallets are MicroStrategies based on their buying announcements. So it's interesting to see that come to light. And it's also interesting to see Michael Saylor not wanting to dox those wallets, because if you're truly never going to sell them, why not dox them? He won a whole roundabout thing. I can't remember it all, but might be worth looking up that 5-minute response and forming your own opinion on that, I guess.
A 5-minute response?
It was a roundabout multi-minute response to strategic reserves or whatever. You know how all these centralized exchanges have proof of reserve now? Somebody was asking him, well, why doesn't MicroStrategy do proof of reserve? And it was this whole like roundabout thing about security risks and this, that, and the other, which I thought was a little strange.
Are you going to sell it? Yes, no. 5 minutes later, you're like, okay, that's all I need to know. Gotcha. Oh my God. All right. That's perfect. We are almost at 2 hours. This was probably the most sophisticated and professional stream we've ever had. So kudos, Nick, for bringing that just a little bit of professionality to our stream while we're constantly trying to derail you with retarded shit left and right. We didn't even talk about the
Feel
rabies
free to come back anytime, bro. I mean, you're part of the kingdom, man. So, don't be a stranger.
This is the land of misfit toys right here. I mean, seriously, but with a purpose. It's amazing. And Nick, you're really intelligent, dude. You really know what you're talking about, man. That's impressive. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. I think that tells a little bit about Mo himself. I just kind of reached out and he's like, yeah, well, come on, here's the date. We'll get everybody else on, and worked it out. So I'll pop on whenever you guys want. We can talk about crypto, pulse chain, whatever. And, hopefully Surf keeps doing well so we can all ride the wave together. And I need to take a look at some other projects here. It looks like I need to look at Admit. I need to look at, Base Die and some of these other things. So get in my DMs. Tell me what I need to look at.
DP
we'll see what the word is.
Yeah, well, the funniest part of it is it's Pulse Die on base.
Really mess everybody up.
Oh yeah.
Just like I said,
it was launched on Zora.
There was some PDI maxis in the BPDI Telegram being like, so what is the mechanic you have running behind this to make sure it pegs to $1? And we're like,
no mechanics.
The mechanics of Supersen, bro. We're gonna
You should have just said Zora or some shit. Just start sounding smart.
All right. Let's wrap it up. We'll get to our last thoughts for everyone. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to end it on. You want to throw a shill out there. You want to talk shit to your neighbor. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. Nathan, how are your neighbors? Are they cool?
How are my neighbors?
Yeah.
Are they cat people?
My neighbors.
No, the Italians, dude.
Oh man, so I got like an MMA fighter, like it's a whole big Italian family, and just looking out my kitchen window on any holiday and watch them all get together, it always gets to a point where they're like, we're out there, we're like, hey guys, what's up? And then like a couple hours later, and you get into the evening, and then it's just like the dirt pit is there, and the brothers are just like fighting it out, and the mom's coming in, and she's like, no, don't do this. And the oldest brother, she's like, mom, just let it happen. Let him do it. Let him do it. And then one time, one of them pulled out a knife, and then the cops showed up, and it's just like, I remember talking to the cops, the local cops. I'm walking my son to school. I'm talking to the cop. He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm getting to know him. He's like, where do you live? I was like, oh, I live up here next to and I said the last name, and he was like, oh, he's like, you live next to them? Like, that's the most frequent in like their biggest businesses.
Frequent flyers.
Anyway, if you're worried about your Yi bag and you're sitting there watching the chart on the 1 minute chart and it's going 6.5 million, 5.9 million, 6.5 keeps going back down. If you were in the V3 1% pool with your tokens, you wouldn't be worried about this. What would you see? You would see volume.
With your boys.
There you go.
A bunch of
Council of
bearded
LP.
bastards.
Yo, and the same thing is about to happen with Peak. Don't fade Peak. I'm telling you, that V3 pull right there is gonna get fat, bro, and it's little right now.
Did you just say XRP?
Bro, Peak. Peek.
All right, is that what you want to end with? Peak? You got
Oh,
anything
it's
else
always
for us?
Yeah.
All right, love it. I'm gonna save Nick for last. Blockhead, give me some last comments, sir.
Hey, shout out to my working coworkers, my working friends. Shout out to my IRL friends. I got friends who own businesses. I got friends who deal with precious metals. I just got a little text. You better get a shout out for single-handedly bolstering the semi-precious metal market. So I had to shout out.
Well, shit, y'all better all start coming to Post Chain and be like us in the middle of the night here doing nothing, semi-retired, fucking rich people, bro. Come to crypto. Come to Post Chain. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm onboarding, man. I'm onboarding little by little. It's not easy. It's not easy to onboard people onto crypto, nonetheless, post chain. But you make your way, and you show people how to be their own bank. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let's continue to lead by example. Let's continue to lead sheep. I'm sorry. Let's continue to lead other wolves. We're not here to lead. My bad, bro. Look, I got all these thoughts jumbled up.
That's all right, brother.
We're not
That's
here
all right.
to lead.
Come on, man.
We're not here to lead sheep into the slaughter. We're here to show people how to be their own bank, how to be self-sovereign, and it's going to be a progress. But let's continue to spread this message.
All right, Mo.
Shout out, sir. Yeah,
I gotta go, bro. I love you guys.
Nathan.
We will do it again very soon.
Peace. See you, Nathan.
No hearts.
And then
No,
there's one
no,
last.
no hearts today. No hearts.
Oh,
Good.
you didn't get the. Hey, hang on. Goop.
Dude, last time you had like the weirdest like grin when we go like that. You're just like, what the fuck?
On my screen, you're next to Ted.
Yeah, you're next to Ted on my
I need to
screen
do the
too.
heart. Johnny, last words.
I don't know how I'm supposed to go after Matthew 7:15 over here, but I will do my best. Awesome stream, awesome insight, Nick. Fantastic meeting you, good sir. Always good to talk to some fellow post chain people that have a nice level head. It's great. It's a breath of fresh air when I'm not hearing someone from Pulse Chains be like, screw that guy, screw that coin, don't do this, don't do that, only do my thing. You know what I mean? And I think we're starting to see a little bit more of that. And as these streams continue, I hope you join us. I hope you bring some friends, bring some family. Everyone's welcome on this channel at least. So appreciate your insights. What do I got? I was going to piggyback off what Nathan said. You're going to see market corrections. It's in the game. Don't get shaken out of your bags. The verse made some mention that this chart reminded him of Kokoro. I'm talking about Yi and how that chart looked manipulated. This chart kind of follows the same kind of patterns. Just understand that whales have intentions too, right? They want to shake you out. They want you to get out at 4 million market cap. And then guess what happens? Boom, back up to 6, just like that. Mm-hmm. So to assuage your concerns, one way is to just hop in the V3, 1%, just chuck a full range on, set it and forget it. Okay. That's what we preach. Safe, responsible play. Don't worry about chasing one thing and hopping into the other. Guys, just a little warning. The House of Warlords chat today was a little bit intense. Okay, so for anyone that doesn't hang out in House of Warlords,
that was fucking ridiculous.
It's pretty much the Wild West with calls. Okay, you'll hear like 8 people calling coins. Okay, take a step back, take a deep breath. There's by no means you guys have to chase every single shiny object, every single thing that everyone talks about. Okay, put it on a watch list. Call it a day. Wait for a dip, whatever you want to do. But when we talk on stream, when we're talking on stream, the plays that we're talking about, the things, the coins, the founders that we're talking about, these are our conviction plays. These are the ones that if you were going to ape a bag and you didn't know, the stuff that we talk about here, that's what I would go and look at. You know, not the new shiny honeypot of the day. That's right. But motherfucker,
bro, I've been holding this. I've been holding
That's
this.
amazing.
I've been holding this EV3 since I got in, and yeah, with any call that you get, do your own freaking research, man.
Yeah.
There's resources
don't
everywhere.
just get in because you hear me or Chris or anyone or Goo God. Like, just because we say something that we like something, you know, you still have to do a little bit, you know, do some research on your end as well. Don't, like Mo was talking about the other day, don't copy and paste the wrong damn contract address in.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm a degenerate, bro.
I told Block not to
I
buy
am
Yee and to wait on it, and that just started running right after that. So
Right.
you got to do your own due diligence. Stray
do your
called the
own due
honeypot
diligence.
today. Pinned it. Didn't even know. You got to do your own diligence, right? Like shit happens.
That the piggy? The little piggy?
No, that was Mello's.
That was a mellow
Mello's fucking
scam.
call.
That's
Oh
what I'm
my
saying.
God.
You got to fucking be very careful, bros.
I was wondering what the commotion was because I missed that one. I'm glad I didn't even look at it.
Anyway, I'm diverting from the thing. Just be careful. House of Warlords, you will find a lot of alpha, but it can also be overwhelming for the uninitiated. So just dip your toe in, get in there, say hi. Don't feel like you have to interact with every single damn thing that gets talked about, for the love of God. But the Council of LP is where you're going to go for LP knowledge, LP education. Follow everyone here. Jump into the Council of LP. Get your LP knowledge going, and we will see you next time. When we going? Friday next?
Yeah.
We're going Friday. I'll see everybody on Friday. Love you, mean it.
Appreciate you, sir. Ted.
All right, I'll take this in an entirely different direction.
All right.
So today I was in ordinals all day today. So I've been but I've been actively following a group of guys that have come up with some really innovative stuff in the ordinals realm, if you will, and they had their mint today. I want to throw a shout out to Block Frogs. These guys are really innovative with what they're doing in the ordinal space, and I want to thank them. They gave me free mints today, which was awesome, far more than I expected. And I shared one earlier today on my post, and I'm actually going to maybe approach them and see if I could maybe get involved with them a little bit. So a good example with this space, this stream itself, it's a little bit of everything. But as far as what we have going on here, it's about education, being safe, having a good time, having great guests, having Nick come on board, Chris and everybody, Blockhead, Goo, of course, always a riot, Johnny, and Mo, thanks for setting this up week after week after week. I really think it's gaining traction. I know that when we first started doing this, it was just kind of a small crew, but the audience is growing. People are actually listening, and I think they're learning. So it's pretty amazing. So thank you, everybody, and be sure to follow these people. They really know what they're talking about. Y'all have a great night.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate you, buddy. Chris.
Yes, sir. Great live stream. Please follow all the homies. Shout out to Nick for coming on. Shout out to the Surf Token. Awesome token. All I got to say is Yee to a mother chucking dollar. We're flipping Pepe. Fuck Pepe. Fuck Uniswap. Switched out when. Stop swapping. Start switching. And if you're like fast money, like crazy DJing calls, and you're stupid like me, check me out at the verse 369. Till next time, guys. Peace.
Whoa. That's an $8 Yee. You said 80 billion. So Yee needs
I said
to go
$1
to
or Yee $2. You do $1.
No, $8. $8.
Okay, fine. $8.
Well, but it's
Yeet
gotta
$8.
start at one.
$8. There you go. There you go.
Trim at $1 and then ride the wave up to 8. All right, let's fucking go. Nick, sir, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, awesome being on here, guys. Good meeting you guys. We see the Ethereum breakout here live, so let's see if the Ethereum strategic reserve is the next narrative to lead that higher. We broke above a critical level, so we'll see if we hold that. You really need to close above that level for it to matter. Bitcoin dominance, if Ethereum stays strong, falls to 60-61%, gets a little bit of a small alt season going. 244,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025 is my standing prediction. I made the prediction of 100,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2024. That became a reality when everybody thought I was crazy because I said it when Bitcoin was like $21,000. And Pulse needs to hold 35.85 to keep the momentum going, or potentially that cup and handle going to rip again higher. So hopefully Surf is a beneficiary of that, Yee's a beneficiary of that, and everything else we talked about. And if you want to learn more about myself, Crypto Hitman on Twitter, follow on Crypto Paradise on Twitter, or check out cryptoparadise.net. If you're a degenerate or you need help, you're new, check out learncrypto.io. It is our trading and educational platform. We have a private group at patreon.com/learncrypto. So, those are kind of my targets. Those are my outlooks, and awesome to be on here. Maybe I'll try to pop on here Friday as well.
Cool. Hey, awesome. You are always welcome. I appreciate you very much. Guys, do me a favor. We always say, follow everyone, like and subscribe and all that. Set notifications for everybody. The bull run is fast, and if you want actionable alpha that you can actually, get and use, you need to have these notifications on, because this is bull run. 3 hours later might be too late to get a good entry. So follow these guys. Check out Surf Token. Check out Adamantium. Get in the Telegrams, House of Warlords, Council of LP. Check out the King ecosystem. I appreciate you all. And I'm going to leave you with one last thing that I saw from Somi today. Let me pull this up. It was the greatest thing I think I saw all day. Someone made a post that James Wynn got absolutely wiped out on some of his trades. And it was 0 to 87 million in 5 days. He pretty much lost it all.
Holy
and
shit.
then his comment down below was, no crying in the casino. So we all know what we're doing. Let's have fucking fun. Ape responsibly. No crying in the casino. And we'll see you on Friday.
Thanks, Mo.
Peace out, guys.